Hi, good afternoon. Welcome and happy Father's Day to everybody. Are you looking for a new hobby? You just want to learn something new and maybe pick up the guitar? You probably have a lot of questions like which ones to choose. You can go for a Gibson, infamously heavy, big and bulky, or maybe you can buy yourself a custom Surge, but these go for over $2,000 on the market. Well, I got the answer just for you, Fender. Fender guitars are one of the best guitars. Fender was a company that started in California in 1946 by a man named Leo Fender. And Fender is actually the first company to mass produce solid body electric guitars. So you might ask yourself, why Fender? Why why should I spend my money on Fender? Well, first of all, it's your best choice. Why? Because they have an iconic look, world famous players, and also they're very accessible and affordable guitars. Without further ado, we'll talk about its iconic look. Fender Stratocaster. When you think about guitar, this shape here probably comes to mind. It's one of the most famous guitars out there. It's been played by countless artists. This color right here is called Sunburst. One of the most famous. You've seen this guitar on videos, concerts, TV shows, movies, even maybe even billboards. Really famous guitar. But if that's not your thing, Fender has a couple other ones. We have the Telecaster, nice butterscotch Telecaster body, or we have the Jazzmaster white with golden golden pickguard. Also really famous. We've all seen these at one point in our life. Not only does Fender give you guitars, you can also get bass. Maybe maybe you like reggae or Motown funk, and you like bass. Well, we have the Fender Jazz Bass and the Fender Precision Bass, also known as the Fender P Bass. Also really famous, and just look at it. Beautiful color, beautiful design. Once you get geared up with a guitar or bass, now you got to know what you got to play it through. That would be an amplifier. Fender also supplies great amplifiers like this deluxe reverb. Great quality craftsmanship. These amps are also tube amps, which are timeless sound that you hear to this day. Again, here's another amp right here, a Bassman, also really famous. You've seen this probably on a lot of movies. Next point is our players. Time and time again, famous people throughout the world choose Fender guitars. We have the best lineup of guitar players. I'm gonna start with the most obvious one, Jimi Hendrix. In the guitar community, Hendrix is known as the best guitarist. Obviously, right here he's playing his famous Strat that he set on fire. We've all seen that picture. Also, Stevie Ray Vaughan, King of Texas Blues. We know that song "Pride and Joy." That's a Stratocaster. We got Buddy Guy, just the old blues master. And this guy right here, he's a little famous. You might know him. He's David Gilmour. He plays for this band called Pink Floyd. I don't know if you heard about it, but they've sold millions of albums and have countless hits done with this Fender Stratocaster known as Black Strat. This guitar actually sold in auction a couple years ago for $3.975 million. So that says a lot about the quality of the instrument, the person playing it. Then we got people like John Frusciante. He is the guitarist for a band called Red Hot Chili Peppers, the band that has a song on every radio station. Then we have our Telecaster players like we got Albert Collins, Brad Paisley. He's a country guitarist. Keith Richards. Who doesn't know the Rolling Stones? We got Muddy Waters, another blues legend. Then our bass players, Marcus Miller, great musician. He's played with other countless musicians and studio basses. We got Fleet, another member of Red Hot Chili Peppers. Roger Waters, also from Pink Floyd. I don't know if you guys are starting to see a trend there. They all pick Fender. Steve Harris from Iron Maiden. Another thing about Fender is that you notice there are different genres and different eras, and it doesn't matter. People are always picking Fenders. Also, the Fender amplification has been really famous through the music industry. Even though B.B. King and Jerry Garcia didn't play Fender guitars, they used Fender amplifiers. Also, it is known that the Fender Deluxe Reverb is hailed the most recorded amp in the history of music. So you've probably heard this amp on many of your favorite songs. So you may ask yourself, well, if all these famous guys play these instruments, aren't they expensive? You know, how can I save up to even buy just a guitar without the amp? Well, that's a good thing about Fender. They're also very accessible and affordable. You've all seen this before. This is most commonly referred as the Fender Strat Pack. It's a Fender guitar, a Stratocaster body with an amplifier and its little goodies. You know, your dad has this in his garage, your uncle has it in his attic. We've all seen this guitar and this amp laying around people's houses. Well, this setup right here can go a little bit over $200 in most music stores. So check them out. Another thing about the Fender amplifiers, the ones I showed you, the famous ones, they are a little expensive. The tube amps can run up pricey, but they also think about the guitarists that are struggling, like myself, and they have the Mustang. It's a lot cheaper, perfect for the bedroom, or just to jam with your buddies on the weekend. So here we have a quote from Quincy Jones: "Without Fender bass, there'd be no rock and roll, no Motown. Electric guitar had been waiting around since 1939 for a nice partner to come along. It became an electric rhythm section, and that changed everything." This was from Quincy Jones. He's Michael Jackson. He's played with countless other great artists. He wrote the theme for Sanford and Son, so he knows something about music. Rory Gallagher, a famous Strat user, as you can tell, he says, "I've been playing Fender since 1963, and before that, it was my dream guitar. I can't endorse it more than that." And again, one of my favorites, David Gilmour recently said in an interview, "The Stratocaster tends to enhance the personality of the person playing it." You know, so he's just in love with Fender guitars. Also, according to CNBC, Fender sales have grown 17% during the pandemic. And the model selling for under $500 grew 92%. And according to studies, the Fender and the Telecaster are the best-selling guitars in the history of electric guitar. So you can buy yourself a different guitar, a Jackson or a Gibson Epiphone, or you can buy yourself a Fender. You can sound, look, and feel like the pro. So I was gonna show you a quick video on the Fender, but why show you a video when I can show you right here with this Fender? Thank you.